guys, back here again with another video today. Today we're installing the new Velossa Tech Lit Kit, which is essentially a new flare for your existing Velossa Tech snorkel. So today we're going to be showing how to use a fuse tap, so then when you turn on the car, the snorkel will be on, like the color, light, and then when you turn off the car, it'll automatically shut off with the car as well. So okay guys, let's get into it. Alrighty, so the first thing that we need to do today is we need to remove the front lip so then we can remove our front bumper. Now, when I installed this front lip, I used jack nuts, just so in that way what I could do is I could go underneath with an Allen key and I can unscrew the whole front lip and then I can drive it onto the ramps without having to remove the bumper every time to uninstall and reinstall the lip. So anyways, let's get into that. Now we can remove our front lip. Okay, so now that we have the front lip removed, we need to undo a 8mm bolt that connects the front bumper to the fender. Well, the bumper clip, essentially, because we need to remove that, that bolt or screw for us to be able to remove everything alongside the bottom under tray clips. Now, we'll do the under tray clips once I have the car up on the ramps, but for now what we're going to do is we're going to undo that bolt or screw that holds in the bumper to the fender. Just like that. And now we can reach this bolt. Now, I would advise doing this before you get the car up on ramps and while you can still turn the car on and turn the tires, because it'll make your life so much easier to remove this bolt slash screw with the car on the ground. So we're going to take that, put that just in the cowl right there, turn the wheel the other way, and go do the other side. Okay, and with that now done, now what we're going to do is we are going to straighten our wheels back up, and we're going to set up the ramps so then we can get this up in the air. As you can probably see too, we are extremely close already from hitting the bumper on the ramp. Now these are low profile ramps from Canadian Tire, Moto Masters, but if you can find a set of these, then that's fantastic for this car, honestly. Alrighty, so one of the ways that I like to get these clips off is just with like a trim removal tool. And you're just going to go the edge of it, wiggle it in, just like that, and then pop it down. Now we're going to do that all the way around to, you don't need to do this back one. This one over here, you don't need to do. But we're going to do all the front ones. So the one that I just popped off, and then that one, and the other 3 or 4 that are there. There's probably going to be 4. Because we're not going to remove the whole under tray. What we're going to do is we're just going to remove the front bumper, and then I'll show you a little trick after. So let's get that one popped off. And then we got one more down over there. Alrighty, so on top here, what we're gonna do is we're gonna pop these clips up. Now, another tool that works really well for doing this is just a small flathead screwdriver. So, okay. So, we have all those out. Now, there are a few clips that we need to remove on the fender liner towards the bumper. So let's transition to that. Alrighty, so we have technically 2 clips, but I'm missing one right down here. Don't worry, doesn't really make that big of a difference. But I have one clip here that I need to remove, and then another one right here, and then one more that's right here. And then once those are removed, then that's the side done. We're going to do the same thing on the other side. Once we do the same on the other side, then we can remove the bumper. There we go. Okay. So let's do the same on the other side, and then let's get the bumper removed. Alrighty, so when removing the bumper here, what I always like to do is I always like to put my fingers as deep as I can to try to help remove this, and try to do it as easily as possible, right? So that was good and bad, because now our other piece is in there, so I'm just gonna leave it like that for now. And then we're gonna move on to the other side, do the exact same thing. Top section. There we go. Now, it's always good to just grab, hold, do the same thing on this side. Grab the whole bumper. Slowly bring it down. Alrighty. So now that our bumper's off, we can kind of see what's going on behind here. So, I'm going to bring the camera in and get my viewpiece right here. Okay. So, right here is the actual controller for the Velossa Tech Snorkel. And then we have all of our excess wires right here. So what we're going to have to do is disconnect everything that's right here that has to do with the Velossa Tech, and it comes up into the snorkel, as you can see. Now, I did this shroud cut. Now, you don't need to do this cut specifically when installing the Velossa Tech snorkel. I just chose to because with my Alumo DRLs, it was easy to hide the wires above like that. So, to each their own. So, okay, so let's start with moving this. Man, that's on there nice and tight. There we go. Alrighty, so the next thing too that we have to do here is we have to remove this old flare. Oh, there we go. That's the old one. Done. So now we can remove this controller right there. So now that's the old lip out, and then we can put the new one in. Yeah. So okay, so that's okay. And now we can. Okay. So now we're all secure on our new flare. We have our new flare. Now what we have to do is we have to try and find where we are going to hook up the new controller. So let's get that done. So there I am zoomed in. So I'm just gonna wiggle it out. As you can see, got 15, 15, 15. This is our fuse tap right here. This one. So what we're going to do, because I don't want to get a new fuse tap, I'm going to actually end up cutting this one, because this one's already, yeah. So I'm going to end up cutting it, strip it, and then I'm going to attach a new one for us to then reuse this fuse tap. So let's get into that. Okay. Let's do it to about right there. Okay, so that's our fuse tap. We're going to keep this. We're going to end up stripping the wire, and then we're going to actually feed this wire back down and pull it out from the bottom from that nest of wires that we saw at the beginning of the video. Okay, so what I'm going to do right now is actually disconnect. So let's keep on. So now that we disconnected the battery, we're going to remove our negative, which we're actually using this grounding terminal right down here. It looks like it's for the horns and possibly a sensor. Okay, so that's our grounding wire off. We're gonna just hand thread that for a little bit because we're gonna disconnect this now. So now I did all this with zip ties, which I'm really happy I did this with zip ties, because I'm gonna go in and undo that, and then you can undo this one right here. There we go. So those are our zip ties. There. Like that. There we go. So now that we've disconnected the controller for our Velossa Tech lit kit, we can now put this off to the side because we have the new controller and we're going to get that all wired up. So when you buy this new lit kit from Velossa Tech, this is what they're going to send you. They're going to send you the new controller, and on the other end you have two plugins. One is obviously, you could use whatever one for the Snorkel. So what we're going to do is we're going to set that off to the side. And now on the other end, we have our power. Now, the way that they've done this is we have our ground, which we're going to end up hooking up in the exact same grounding area that we did before. So we're going to set that one off to the side. And now the power. So the power here, what they've done is you have a fuse right here. If I can get the cap open. You have a fuse here. Looks like 20 amp. And then our positive, and at the other end right here, we have a switch. Now, realistically, we're not going to use the switch because we're going to use our fuse tab. So what we're going to end up doing here is we're going to actually mark out how far our wire is going to go, see if we can get it reach the fuse box without having to cut really any length of extra wire, and then see if we can get that attached to our fuse tab. Alrighty, so give me a moment and let's reposition. Okay, so we have now repositioned our camera, and we fed the wire up actually through the bottom, and it is long enough to reach our fuse tap. So what we're going to do is we're going to actually strip this, disconnect this wire from the switch, just like so. So now this is exactly going to be our wire from the controller to our fuse tap. So then it's going to be on constantly when the car is on, and then once the car turns off, then it's going to turn off automatically. So that is what we're going to attempt to do now. So we're going to actually cut this off right here, and then we're going to place it in, or I'm going to see if I have a connector that I can use right there, so then we can just have it plugged in and then wrap it with some electrical tape. Alrighty, so give me a moment, I will be right back. Okay, so I don't have a connector that's going to plug directly into this, so we're just going to do kind of like a, we're going to crimp them together like this, because I don't have my soldering iron with me. So, you just set that there. Going to put this. Okay, so that is our fuse tap ready to go. This one, we're just going to cut it off right here. Squeeze, and then squeeze. Okay. So now our fuse tap is now crimped with our power to our controller. Okay. So now that we've just crimped our fuse tap to our power connector for the controller for the Velossa Tech Snorkel, now what we're going to do is put our fuse cover back on. There we go. And that is a weather seal too inside the fuse cover, so we should be good like that. Alrighty, so let's reposition the camera again, move back below, connect the snorkel, and then let's see, we'll connect the battery, the power, and we'll see how it works. Okay, so we are cleaning up the area that we're going to use that adhesive. And now I'm going to then bring it up as kind of like a test fit. See where. Okay, so I'm gonna move the camera over here. Not too sure if you can see it, but this is where we mounted it right here. And so now we're gonna run our wires, make it all clean, and then go from there. Alrighty. That's that. Okay, so let's reconnect the battery. And we're gonna grab our keys and let's turn the car on. Alrighty, so now we have the new Velossa Tech lit kit on. And let's see how this is going to affect in the video. So if I go into here, okay, so now let's just do static color. Uh, okay, so static. It should be static. Or here, let's go to solid. There we go. Now we can choose it. Now, I have something along the lines of that right now to match my DRLs. So I'm going to do that, and then I'm going to... So, that there is the solid, but this is how you install the Velossa Tech Snorkel. Now, when I turn off the car, the snorkel will turn off with the car. Okay, so now we're going to reinstall the bumper. So we want this sitting right above that splash shield. It's that side. Okay, those are the top clips. Now we're gonna do the bottom ones. But first, we're gonna and then put our bolts on. Okay. Okay. Alrighty. Well, everybody, I hope you enjoyed this video of the installation of the Velossa Tech Lit Kit Snorkel. If you do have any questions, please feel free to comment down below or even reach out to me on my Instagram at polarboost.n. Thank you so much, guys, and I hope you have a wonderful day. Bye.